What's going on, guys? It's your boy Vision coming at you with something that's always been on my chest, but I haven't ever got around to it. It is literally the Sword Lament. Now, as everyone knows, the Sword of Lament now is literally the new Galahorn, the new Xenophage, the new Black Spindle for any boss. It is one of the best for DPS, for damage phases, for bosses, for air tracks, even for freaking what's the face Riven now. And in my opinion, I don't like it. I really don't. I don't see the point of using it, and I don't really enjoy it as such myself. And I'm not going to put my case forward as to why I'm doing it. I'm just showcasing why I don't like to use it and why I'd rather use something else. And this predates back to actually using exotic swords and swords back in D1, in which there's definitely a nostalgia effect there. But going in personally, with the Lament, especially as you saw there's three basic attacks to the Lament: your normal light attack, your heavy uppercut, and well, there's technically four. You charge it up and you can hold RT and do a massive swoosh down, and then you've got your main range of attack that everyone uses. Now, of course, every sword has that light attack and that heavy attack, and that's just a normal obligation of a sword. But in terms of the other two, like, why do you have to sit there and charge up? Yeah, I know it's giving this idea of Banshee's well, that it was Banshee's sword or something, and like, the longer you charge up, the more power it's going to be because of like a Banshee screams, and they just rail in. But if you're going up against a Barrier Knight, take it for example, a Hive Boomer, anything like that, they're not blocking. It's not blocking at all. Like, it won't block any attack, and you will still get mauled to death. But just to charge up, to just send out a flurry of attacks, it just doesn't feel right to charge up blocking where you're now taking damage, when I could have just thrown a grenade like that and taken out a bunch of throws. Yeah, I could have used my sword on them, but I've got a grenade, it's more convenient. But the point of which where it's just showing it like you just want to do everything as such, even against unstoppables, you've got to charge up. I mean, I didn't charge up as much there, so I'm just going to light attack. The light attack's doing 16.5k damage each time. Yeah, the stronger attack's going to do better, and it has shown, proven by the numbers, that it does a lot more, probably about 10% more damage than a Falling Guillotine, which is just based off the Dark Drinker back in D1. But obviously, Dark Drinker was the nostalgia. Dark Drinker was the thing back then. Like, now with the swords, it's just come to attention that people don't use them correctly. They use them for not their purpose. They just use them to think, oh, we're just going to get through this, happy days. People think in a way of two things on Destiny. They either think, I've got to get it done quick, no noobs, no scrubs, nothing like that. I just want to get in, get out, happy days. Which, bear in mind, yeah, it's accountable to, but there's sometimes you've got to be consistent. You've got to be overwritten. You've got to understand everything. You've got to make sure your team understands everything. Even if that means going across one more phase, you're going to have to do it. Not everybody's going to have the weapons to do one phase. And especially with Lament, it's been proven in, especially on A-Tracks now, that you can one phase in basically with all 6 Laments. And I never use it, and I'm going to show you in a second why. Yeah, in the next clip, it's going to be where my connection's pretty bad, but bear with it, and I'll explain after it all when it's finished. So as you can see here, I'm the only one attacking. I'm just using a normal bequest from the actual strike, because I do like this weapon. And pretty much, I was able to take him down in one. Yeah, it's not a lot of damage as such, but with a fireman in it, and one of them unfortunately wasn't there in time to actually do damage. So obviously, he's going to take his buff upstairs, and I'm going to get ready for the next one. Now, this is where I want you to look, right? I never used Lament in here. I've probably used it once, and that's it. When the numbers come up, I've never hit as much as I have now. Yeah, my connection is very bad, and it just let me keep attacking and then somehow wiped us. People who use Lament and normally damage like 2 times, they've already done about 300-400k damage. Me, myself, I'll probably do just under 200k, probably, because I do not use it. I use Bequest like I see, or Black Talon or Worldline Zero or something else that I don't want to use. So it's in mid. So I'm on my own. So I'm just going to chuck my Revenant out, because just for extra damage. Now, look at the damage I'm putting in. Yeah, I know my servers are going, and we did get wiped after this, and we don't know why, because I did enough damage as such. But the number that comes up just doesn't feel right to me, especially when I'm using this. Like, we had one Xenophage, which is the lowest number. I did almost 700k damage. Like, the other two we used the Laments, and like I said, they've done about 400k damage. Now, from that clip alone, it just shows one of the many reasons why I don't use Lament. I think there's many swords out there that could be used differently. Obviously, people do A-tracks totally different to how we do it. And in my opinion, swords have come to this point now where they're just being used as a cheat mechanism sort of thing. Let me think. You got free peeking in trials, free peeking in competitions. Just using them for actual damage. If you go back to Gowron's Deception, everyone was running swords. Like, it just takes out the liberty of a fight for like the ideas of like Xenophage, Divinity, Black Spindle, Whisper of the Worm, Sleeper Simulant. It just puts it on a back burner. Even these Anargis. Yeah, most of these are all vaulted now and you can't use them. But come on. And it just doesn't feel right anymore. Now, this is what I'm here for. The Raise Lighter. Very nostalgic, D1 style, D1 shenanigans. Maybe I had a little cry coming back into D1 because I haven't been on since everything. But even the weapons work a lot better in my opinion with a Fang of Ear, Yurt, Stolen Will, and the Raise Lighter. Now, the Raise Lighter in its aspect, as everyone knows, you press RT, it does a slashing uppercut. You hold RT on a Dark Drinker, it does a spin like you do on Falling Guillotine. And the other one, I forgot, it's a Boltcaster or whatever it's called. I feel like it's Boltcaster. I hold RT, it sends out projectile like Temptation's Hook. So they've already done different weapons in terms of what they want to show and that. Where, obviously, Raised Lighters kind of become the Lament, Dark Drinkers, Fallen Guillotine, and Boltcasters, Temptation's Hook. In a way as such. Like, not in the restrictive version of it, just that's what it feels like. But you do an uppercut. You're ready to go again. If you did that with any other weapon, you will not be ready to go again at all. In my opinion, I would still whip out like Hezen's Vengeance, Corrective Measure, even a Commemoration at this point, and I would rather use a heavy machine gun. But just from that damage alone, I feel like swords now are just becoming this weapon that's just not right. It's not pointing the right way in the game anymore, and we need to do something about it. But it's just literally my opinion on Lament and everything. Obviously, everyone else has a different one. If you have your own opinion, please put it in the comment section down below. But without further ado, I'll see you in the next one. Cheers and peace out.